Today we're looking into a really interesting startup pitch. It's called FlyCarry.xyz. And our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack the key ideas from the sources you've shared with us. We want to understand how this global peer-to-peer shipping idea aims to change how we send and receive personal stuff, especially, gifts across borders.
Hey.
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting right at the core concept. FlyCarry.xyz. Their tagline is pretty catchy. Earn as you travel, save as you ship. The basic idea, it's about matching travelers, people who have some extra space in their luggage, with folks needing to send packages internationally, securely, efficiently, and, well, hopefully more affordably.
And what jumps out right away, looking at the materials, is just how big this problem is. I mean, it's a real pain point, right? For anyone with family or friends overseas, sending stuff internationally the usual way, it's often super expensive, it can be incredibly slow, and honestly, sometimes unreliable, especially for just personal packages or gifts. A lot of people end up just waiting for someone they know to travel.
Right, waiting for a friend or cousin.
Exactly. And then on the flip side, you've got the travelers themselves. They're facing these high ticket costs, baggage fees keep going up, so they're looking for ways to make back some money. What's fascinating here is how universal this pain point is on both sides.
Definitely a shared frustration.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where FlyCarry comes in. How does it actually solve this? They connect senders with verified travelers. That verified part seems important. Travelers heading to the same place, obviously. Senders pay, supposedly, a fraction of the normal cost. And travelers get to earn some easy passive income, just using space they already have.
Yeah, the promise is faster, cheaper, and definitely more personal delivery for the sender. And for the traveler, it's a way to monetize their trip without really doing extra work.
Okay, but let's circle back to that verified travelers bit. That sounds crucial. How robust is that verification? We're talking about people's personal belongings here.
That's absolutely the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's clear FlyCarry gets that. Trust is everything for them. The sources emphasize that. See, right now, this often happens informally, right? You ask a friend, someone you trust. What they're trying to do is formalize that trust, almost commoditize it within a system. So the verification involves things like ID checks, definitely, plus a rating system, reviews, maybe even optional insurance. It's layered. The idea is to build a transparent system where that informal trust can actually scale.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's maybe use an example to make it real. The sources gave one. Imagine a mother in Bangladesh. She wants to send, say, traditional outfits, maybe some homemade snacks, to her daughter in France for Eid, using a regular courier. Expensive, slow, might not even get there in time.
Especially during peak times, yeah.
Exactly. But with FlyCarry, the idea is she finds a trusted traveler who's already flying from Dhaka to Paris, maybe just days before Eid. So the daughter gets the package on time, full of, family stuff, tradition. The mom feels better. The traveler makes some cash. They call it a community-powered win-win, which sounds nice. Cultural connections travel across borders faster, safer, and with a human touch. It really does hit that emotional angle.
And if we zoom out from that example, their big vision is to become the world's most trusted community logistics network. Notice the emphasis on community, people sending things with people, not just cargo planes. And this taps into a potentially massive market. I mean, the global parcel delivery market, it's huge, estimated over $500 billion. Plus, you've got over 100 million international travelers every year.
Wow.
Yeah. And add to that all the expats, international students, the number keeps growing. So the scale of this need, this human logistical need, is immense. They're not just tackling shipping, they're tackling like a connection problem too.
That's a great way to put it. Connection problem. Okay, the vision is compelling, but let's get practical. What does the actual product, the minimum viable product, or MVP, look like? What features does it have right now?
So the MVP is really focused on the essentials to build that trust and make it work. You need a secure platform, obviously. ID verification is key right at the start. Then things like escrow payments, holding the money until delivery is confirmed, protects both sides. And clear delivery confirmation steps.
Okay, the basics.
The basics, yeah. But also smart route matching, finding the right traveler going the right way efficiently. A ratings and trust system is crucial for that community feel. They've also thought about things like smart pricing suggestions based on distance, weight, how urgent it is. And like we mentioned, optional insurance for extra peace of mind. Oh, and they plan for in-app chat too for easy communication.
Seems pretty comprehensive for an MVP. But all right, let's talk money. If they're aiming to be much cheaper than DHL or FedEx, how do they make this sustainable? Especially if travelers are just earning sort of passive income. Where's the sweet spot for FlyCarry itself? How do they balance being affordable with actually turning a profit?
Yeah, that's always the challenge with these platform models, right? Their main plan is a platform fee. Taking a cut, say 10 to 20% from each successful transaction. That's the core revenue stream. But they're also looking at other things, maybe premium features, like priority matching if you really need someone fast, or maybe more detailed tracking. Some users might pay extra for that.
Right? Tiered services.
Kind of. And then there's potential partner revenue, collaborating with travel agents, maybe local community groups, even shops in certain areas. They even mention looking into affiliate deals with airlines for baggage. But yeah, finding that balance, it's tricky. The price needs to be low enough to attract senders, the payout good enough for travelers, and still leave enough margin for flag carry. It really relies on getting enough volume.
Volume and value, yeah. Okay, makes sense. So they have the idea, they have an MVP plan, they have a monetization strategy. How do they actually get people using it? How do you build this community, especially when trust is so vital? What's the growth plan?
It's very much a community-first approach based on the sources, which makes total sense for this model. They know they need that network effect built on trust. So the plan is to start hyper-focused, target specific diaspora communities where those international ties are really strong. They mention examples like Indians in the U.S., Filipinos in the UAE, Nigerians in the U.K., places with lots of people sending things back home or vice versa.
Smart. Go where the need is already high.
Exactly. And initial operations are planned for specific countries: Bangladesh, China, France, UK, Japan. Their tactics are very grassroots. Think campus ambassadors at universities, micro-influencers who travel a lot, referral bonuses, partnering with travel bloggers, student travel groups. They're even planning to tap into like local WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups.
Wow, really getting down to the community level.
Yeah, religious centers,
Yeah.
cultural hubs, ethnic stores, places where these communities already connect. It's very much word of mouth, built from the ground up. Because trust often spreads that way, right?
It does. Okay, that community angle sounds strong. But what about the competition? You've got the big guys, DHL, FedEx, UPS.
Yeah.
Though they're different, more commercial.
Right.
But then there are other peer-to-peer platforms too. I think the sources mentioned Grab
Yeah.
and Airfroth. How is FlyCarry setting itself apart for them? Is it just price?
Exactly. FlyCarry seems to be carving out a specific niche: peer-to-peer delivery of personal items, things with emotional value like gifts, homemade things, items you can't just buy. So the key differentiator isn't just price, though that's part of it. It's really hammering home that community trust aspect for these very personal exchanges. They're essentially trying to formalize and scale that, hey, can you carry this for me? A favor you'd ask a friend. And that's something the big carriers, with their massive impersonal infrastructure, just aren't set up to do. They can't easily pivot to a distributed trust model like this.
Okay, I see that positioning now. Focusing on that emotional, personal gift space, that makes sense. But like any startup, there must be big hurdles. The sources mentioned some key challenges, right? Top priority seems to be, and they apparently use these words, nail the trust and security aspect.
Absolutely. That came through loud and clear. It's the biggest friction point, the biggest risk. If that fails, the whole thing fails.
Makes sense. What else?
Beyond trust, it's about user experience, making it really easy and smooth, fast matching, simple onboarding process, good in-app chat, reliable verification. Just making the whole process feel delightful, not clunky. And also, crucially, proving it works in one or two initial markets first. Get the trust formula right, get transactions happening smoothly before trying to go global too quickly.
Right. Avoid spreading too thin. But back on security for a sec. How do they deal with potential bad actors, people trying to scam the system, or worse, especially crossing borders? That seems like a constant battle.
It is a constant battle for any platform like this. The sources suggest they know this. It goes beyond just the initial ID check. It involves ongoing monitoring, really leaning on that ratings and review system to build reputation and flag issues.
Yeah.
Having clear processes for handling disputes is vital. The optional insurance adds another safety net. Ultimately, yeah, it's about building a strong community where good behavior is rewarded and bad actors get weeded out quickly. And, this focus on trust feels very grounded. The founder, Rash Mazonder, apparently this whole idea came from his own frustrations, dealing with the hassle and cost of sending things back and forth for his own family living abroad. So it comes from a very real, personal, emotional place for him.
That always helps when the founder has lived the problem.
Okay.
Okay, so we've really dug into flycarry.xyz today. It's definitely a compelling vision, isn't it? A world where sending something meaningful across continents could be almost as easy as asking a friend. It's this interesting mix of tech, community building, and just basic human connection trying to fix a really common personal headache.
Yeah, and if you step back and look at the bigger picture, what FlyCarry's journey really highlights is how innovation isn't always about some brand new breakthrough technology. Sometimes it's about rethinking how we already do things, but putting the human element back at the center, especially where the big traditional services maybe feel a bit impersonal or just don't quite meet that emotional need or aren't affordable for everyday people. It really makes you wonder, what other everyday problems, things currently handled by big, maybe faceless systems, could be transformed by this kind of trusted, community driven approach?
That's a great question. And maybe here's a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. Next time you think about sending a gift, or maybe even just a small package to someone far away, or heck, even when you're packing your own bags for a trip abroad, would you actually consider using or being part of a network like this? One that lets people carry not just packages, but maybe, just maybe, a little bit of connection, a bit of love across borders, something to think about.